Welcome back, State of Decay survivors. This is Congrexes Prime coming at you with another style of video here. We're gonna call this Rags to Riches, Prep to Lethal Zone, plus an opinion piece. And what do I want to do in this video? Well, number one, I did a full Lethal Zone experience with no casualties, fresh start, no carryovers, no red talents, no basic radio calls. The only one I did visit was Beaumont. I completed that experience, and I want to talk to you guys about that experience because I've talked to a few content creators. I've talked to some of you guys. Well, I've gotten some feedback from you guys from the streams, and I've also had enough time to digest that experience, because even when I was playing co-op with Bundy Games and Tino, aka Necrocious, I was getting those flashes of red, as I like to call it, because of what Lethal Zone is about. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to prepare for Lethal Zone. So what I'm basically going to do, guys, is I started looting this map a little bit, and I've been hitting all the ammo places, basically. Any place that there's a store like that one. And all I'm doing is running around looting where all the ammo is and all the roadblocks and everywhere where there can be the possibility of getting a cool weapon. So we're going to go to this one next. And that's what I'm doing. As you guys can see, I have that much ammo and a medical rucksack back there. So the plan is to get as many ammo rucksacks as I can. And then with this cool function that that this game has, we go to difficulty sliders, and I can always select, because I am on green zone. All I'm doing is prepping. And I move it to standard, I flip the map over, and then I switch it back to green zone. When I do that, it resets everything, all the loot, and then I can go back to looting again, more ammo. Somebody asked me a long time ago, how did I get all this ammo? How did I have, like, I don't know, a few thousand rounds of everything? Well, this is how I did it. And I'm going to, as soon as I get my last rucksack of ammo, I'm going to take us to the house, and I'm going to show you guys how I was able to do that. So let me go to the base build here and start cleaning this up. And I started building some stuff, and I put my red talent stuff up as well, because this next playthrough is not going to be in Meager Valley, obviously, because that's where I did that playthrough. It's between Drucker County and Providence Ridge. I don't know. One of those places. So I guess you guys can leave me a comment below and let me know where you guys want to see the next Lethal Zone experience. I'm not worrying about that. Ooh. I think they want to get the queen mad. So back into reflecting like what Lethal Zone is. Weapon here, right? And I kill this. That's exactly what happens in Lethal Zone. If I go for a headshot here, that's exactly what happens in Lethal Zone. So the only difference between Green Zone and Lethal Zone is obviously how active the zombies are, right? Because right now they're just not attacking. They're very passive. And and to be quite honest, combat-wise, nothing changes. One execute kills a zombie. One headshot will kill a zombie with whatever caliber weapon. And I was talking to you guys about that on my stream. And flares are going to become pretty important to us. Let's do this. Let's form a nice little circle right here so I can get rid of this darn thing. Because I don't really need that. That's fine. We can get rid of that. And what I'm trying to do, guys, is well, they still make about the same amount of noise. The circles at least do, but they don't react to it, as you guys can see. But you guys can see that, right? It's pretty obvious that combat in the game at the core does not change from difficult to difficulty. In fact, it stays pretty much the same. And that's a point that I want to drive to you guys, because we hear difficulty sliders, and in a way, it's a little deceiving.
Location is secure, guys. You can think.
And you're going to say, well, what do you mean, Prime? What do you mean it's deceiving? Well, what's deceiving about the difficulty sliders is that you think that the zombies are going to do something extraordinary. There's that last verse sec I was looking for. But they're really not going to do anything extraordinary. They're not going to attack you any different way that they would in any difficulty. The difference is the intensity of the zombie spawning and how aggressive they stay, how much they respect the certain boundaries that the games has set. Like right now, we have this circle, right? And for the most part, in standard zone and in green zone, they respect it. And you're gonna say, well, how do you know they're not respecting it? Well, right now I'm a red talent, and this is how the game could tell on himself. I know how many zombies I have here. When I bring this red talent to lethal zone, I'm gonna show you guys a lot of things about this game because the game will tell on itself. The things that it does behind the scenes to so-called increase the difficulty of the game. In reality, if you play green zone, standard zone, dread zone, nightmare zone, and you beat all those legacies, there's no reason you can't beat lethal zone. The only reason why you will struggle with lethal zone is because the game itself will do things behind the scenes that are against the game's rules. And we're gonna say, well, what do you mean, Prime? What are you talking about? We're trying to say the game cheat? You guys always hear me say cheat code, right? You guys always hear me say that. Some of you guys think it's just me, complaining about the game, and that the game is doing whatever it's supposed to do, right? Because it's not gonna do nothing that it's not supposed to do. Well, that's false. There's a lot of things that happen when certain things are going down in the game, particularly when you're around Plague Pharaohs in Heartland. I'm gonna say Heartland. Plague Pharaohs don't do what they do in Lethal Zone. And what I mean is that whenever they attack you, even if you do an accurate dodge, doesn't matter if you roll, if you double back, double back the dodge, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want to do. Front dodge, side dodge, whatever, combat roll, it doesn't matter. There is that probability that you're going to get some plague. And I've proven this in many videos. I can probably slow motion it 1,000 times and tell 1,000 people, hey, this is happening. And they're like, yeah, well, I like that. I like that the zombies are plaguing me even though they're not hitting me. Well, I have a problem with that. Because, when it comes to fighting, if there's no contact, then there shouldn't be any penalties. And this is what I was talking about on my stream a little bit, is that the game penalizes you for doing good things. If you dodge accurately, you get penalized. If you don't dodge accurately, you get penalized. If it doesn't matter what you do, right or wrong, the game is going to penalize you. If you shoot, the game penalizes you, whether you're suppressed or not. Some things I can accept. For example, zombies being extra active, that doesn't bother me. Zombies attacking me because I shoot, that doesn't bother me. The lack of resources doesn't bother me. Even though I like looting, it doesn't bother me because there's ways around that, right? The game changes. That's another thing that happens in Lethal Zone. Maybe I'll leave it for another video because I don't want to make this one too long. But when the game starts to break its own rules, for example, you shoot a zombie, you shoot his head off, he hits you even when his head is off, and then he dies. That's ludicrous. Plague Pharaohs can plague you even if they don't touch you. They could just be around you and they plague you. If you hit a Plague Pharaoh, that's another thing I want to do, guys, is check all these containers. If you hit a Plague Pharaoh from behind, because I did that in one of my videos, I was kicking a Plague Pharaoh from behind, and every time I kicked him from behind, my plague meter went up. It's like, what? So, obviously, Undead Labs has some kind of aura, right, behind the Plague Pharaohs, or even around the Plague Pharaohs, that they're not telling anybody about. But my only problem is, this is actually a really good melee weapon. We're going to go ahead and take that. The Plague Pharaohs are obviously doing things that, let's see what we have here before we go anywhere else. What is this? A sighted AK. Oh, here she is, man. This is a really, really, really good weapon, guys. This MX4 X2 Lite SSW. This is pretty much a must-have for Lethal Zone. And we're gonna talk about that and the reasons why, right? I'm gonna set up an outpost because I don't have the space to carry this. So outpost man's gonna use his abilities, and we need to break this one real quick. And once we do that, um, and it's so easy to find resources, guys. I mean, I got resources up to yin yang. What I need is ammo, and and lethal zones. So anyway, like I was saying, the difficulty shift for me is not a problem, but it's not really a difficulty shift. It's not like the zombies are trying to uh, do something new. They're doing exactly the same exact thing. They're gonna line up on a straight line and they're gonna attack you. The pharaoh's gonna attack you. They're gonna jump on you. They're gonna do what they do. The difference in the plague pharaoh and the regular pharaoh is that they got that plague armor and they do a couple things differently. Whenever you shoot a plague pharaoh in the head and they stutter, anything that you shoot while they're in stutter mode, you're wasting your bullets. You have to wait for them to start charging you again for the damage to count. See, that is BS. Because if you're landing headshots, rather the stupid zombie, he doesn't have an invisible shield. See, this is when I start getting aggravated. You probably hear it in my voice whenever I talk about this stuff because it's aggravating that the zombie does this weird stutter. You plug him with 100 bullets, and he won't die. And you're like, okay, let him get out of the stutter. Boom, you hit him. Okay, then he dies. That's nonsense. If you land a headshot, it's a headshot. Whether he stutters or not, that's the zombie's problem. Another thing that the screamers do in Lethal Zone is that they lean back. Whenever they lean back to scream, you're wasting your bullets. You ain't gonna do jack to him until he screams. And once he screams and lets it out, then you shoot him. Then it counts. See, that's another gaming mechanic, or like I like to call it, cheese whiz. And these are just little things that can compile to something bad happening in Lethal Zone. So when I have problems with Lethal Zone, and I go off on my tangent, right? Because sometimes you hear me, go on a tangent. You're like, Prime, Prime's getting mad, right? This is I'm really happy I got this. I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go to my workshop. I'm gonna go over to the bullets and I'm gonna craft out. Now, pay attention, guys. If I don't craft 45 5.56 rounds because I don't have an ammunition specialist right now, it'll cost me 2 ammo. If I craft 7.62 rounds, 45 plus rounds, it costs 2 ammo. You guys are seeing a pattern here, right? Everything costs less in green zone. So if you want to prep for lethal zone, this is the way to do it. Watch this. I'm just gonna craft a whole bunch of bullets. Boom. The only problem is I don't like that. I don't like how you can't just craft. So I'm gonna waste all my ammo. So watch this. Let's go to my supply locker.
Take what I can get.
And then check this out. I have 7.62 rounds, 7.62 rounds. So I got over 1,000 rounds already of 7.62 rounds. I had none, really like 40 or 50 rounds, or something like this. I had like that much. Now look what I have. I have about 45 of that. Now I have almost 1,000. So you guys can see a pattern. I can have probably 10,000 rounds in about, 2 hours of doing this method. And you're going to say, well, Prime, how are you going to reset your stuff? So I'm just going to go right here, go to difficulty, push it to standard, push everything to standard, accept. Yep, it's going to reset everything. See, it's letting you know, hey, we're going to reset everything for you. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, reset it. And then when I do this, I'm going to push everything back to green zone. And when I do that, it'll keep me in the same homestead. See?
Did a hurricane come through first?
It'll reset everything in the homestead, which is fine. It's no big deal. And then you go over to the difficulty setting again, and you go back to green zone, accept, and then boom, you reset everything. Now I think the easier way of doing it is just resetting the map difficulty up and then back down, and when you do that, it resets it. I think that's the easier way of doing it. Anyway, so that's it, guys. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing this for a little bit. I'm going to talk to you guys a little more probably tomorrow. I'm waiting to see what Undead Labs decides to do in terms of their stream, what they're going to release for update 24, because I don't want to start with a certain set of rules and then end up having to switch them halfway through. So I just want to see what the update's about, and I'm going to keep farming. Probably going to have about 10,000 rounds of everything. And then the goal is going to be to see how fast I can clear Lethal Zone by myself, but with red talons, fully decked out, fully kitted, fully armed to the T, and see if the spawn rate is going to kill me. I know the answer to that question already. Builder Legacy, and I'm going to call it Cannon Mode. But that's all I got for now, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about Lethal Zone. I know it's been out for almost 2 months now, and a lot of people have completed their legacies. And I would like to get some feedback from you guys. Are you guys getting the same issues I'm getting? The phantom zombies, the control locking, the everything that's been happening to me, everything that I've been complaining about for last week or two, and right before I completed my lethal. So, because I started reflecting on it, and I want to just get more feedback from you guys. Some of you guys have left some cool comments, and some of you guys have disagreed with me, which is good. I like to get all the points of views on the board. Let's keep the conversations, friendly, and let's not try to belittle people or try to make people look dumb. If you do, you will get muted, but that choice is yours to make. Thank you so much for your time. Light, love, and peace. Congrexes. Checking out.